Welcome everyone to the first episode of QCast. I am your host, Glory, and yeah, first episode. We made it. Our our countless hard work of basically procrastinating, and then 3 or 4 days ago realizing, holy shit, we actually wanted to do a live stream this weekend. And start this has paid off because we got our shit together and did it. So, I'll give a brief overview of what this will be, and then I will introduce our hosts. Basically, what I want this to be is that we will go through different outlets of either content or ideas from Nova Quark themselves or the dual universe community. And basically, me and 4 or 5 other people will give our opinions on it, maybe give some ideas on everything, and, just see what happens. And along the way, tell some jokes, have some fun. Yeah, that's about it. This will be a weekly thing. We'll go for about an hour, and yeah. So today I am joined with 4 beautiful people. They're very beautiful. I am joined with Pengo1998 from Nexion Armada. Pengo, say hi.
Hello.
I am joined with Tristanmupe from GMPS. Tristan, how are you?
Yep.
And lastly, I am joined by 2 Brits, Mr. Cringey and Mr. Rocky Buttclench from Buttclenchean Ltd. Say hi.
Hello.
And yes, that is their actual org name. No, I did not give them that. That was their org name. And I'm never going to get over it. And I'm never going to post Buttclench on the actual host thing because I want to look somewhat professional. Anyways. Anyways, so, let's see. What should we talk about first? Community site. Let's see what's interesting. Crowdfunding. Holy shit. They've actually been doing well.
Links to things that we will talk about are in the description.
Oh yeah, of course. Community site is first, and everything like that. 9,062 backers. I haven't looked at that for like a week or two. It looks really good. It's crazy to think how far they've come. With since the Kickstarter. I remember like the final week of the Kickstarter or something close to that. People were like super suspenseful because like they were people were worried that like it wasn't going to happen, and
you can thank No Man's Sky for that.
And people were like super worried that it wasn't going to happen, and then just everyone pulled through and like they did it. It's all awesome, to be honest. And now just realizing that they hit their first Kickstarter goal a couple, like, what is it, like been a month or two now? With the stretch goal of combat versus combat. It's amazing.
I still want to... I want to know what happened to the blurred out one. What is it?
I forget what they said. They just were like, we aren't going to do it. Unfortunately. But, yeah. I always loved the comments on the YouTube videos that like people who had no idea like what Dual Universe was and really didn't have any idea on the community, they just like said, "Oh, Construct versus Construct is a stretch goal. Like, oh, then it's not gonna happen. These guys just want our money and all that stuff." Like, oh my god, I always laughed at those. But yeah. Anyways, so let's see. So it's cool to see that they've how far Dual Universe has come. Just taking a step back before we get into the rants and everything of the rest of the stream. Anyways, let's see what other things has been interesting on the Dual Universe community shite. Let's see. Anything of interest to you guys?
The stuff that's happened with the Synthful Syndicate.
Oh, well, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The CSYN getting Band of Outlaws having more members than that now. It's cool. Congratulations to Band of Outlaws. And actually, now that you mentioned that, on the forums, I remember, Astro Phil, the leader of the Snurfall Syndicate, actually made an update saying that, hey, they're negotiating with Band of Outlaws now to have them member of CSYN. So that'll be interesting.
I'm really curious to see what will happen now with Terranini now that they're no longer in CSYN.
It will be an
how that will
interesting
affect
thing.
the initial few months of gameplay as well.
I'll be, yeah. I think they're...
The Terran Union's still huge compared to the others.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what makes it such a big thing.
Of course.
Yes,
I think it came to the surprise of almost everyone, to be honest. So I'll bring that up a little bit later because there's something else I want to talk about in terms of dual universe politics that I think would be more fitting to fit in the whole thing with the Terrain Union and everything. But yeah, it's cool to see that Men of Outlaws and CSYN will be doing some stuff and everything like that. So hopefully those go well because like we said, Band of Outlaws is now bigger than CSYN, so it'll be interesting to see how things change in the coming weeks, the coming months, in terms of just politics in general, because I think there will be a lot of changes that will happen. Like I said, I'll describe those more later on because there's a better place for that. But anyways, what else? Anything new in the featured posts? Empire has a new song. I listened to that. ODY also has a new song. Listen to that.
Well, why don't we just jump into what we've already got sort of figured out, get some stuff going.
Yeah. Oh, and then our Lord and Savior Yamamushi has been working on the cringy memes. Thank you, Yamamushi, for reminding us that we should all download iFunny on our phone and stay relevant with memes. Thank you, Yamamushi.
Who doesn't already have it?
I actually didn't install iFunny anymore. I used to have iFunny, and then I just kind of got bored with it, so I was like, I won't download it. But yeah. All right. So first thing I want to bring up, and this is where I'm talking about dual universe politics, is did you guys see the whole topic with the dual universe politics state of affairs? There's a person on the forums named, I'm gonna mess up this name, Solratav. Yeah, I'm great at spelling names. Solratav.
Still trying to find the post.
There we go.
Yeah, Solratav. He made a whole thing with made kind of like graphs with the entirety of the bigger organizations, just kind of talking about the everything with
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, making a graph to show current known trade deals and alliances.
Yeah, it's cool. Now, of course, he'll have to re-update it again, like we said with everything that happened. But it will definitely be interesting to see kind of. It's interesting to see how far everything has come, and like seeing all the different organizations and everything like that. It's really cool, really interesting, to be honest. And yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's see. But yeah. And this kind of goes in with what I wanted to say a little while ago. Well, with the whole thing of you guys know the website dustats.com. It was made by Evil Inc. and Lord Void. They made a website talking about the community map and everything. I think it's interesting. Unfortunately, they haven't kept it updated, which, I mean, let's be honest, it's tough to do that, and if he's doing it by himself, then I can see how tough it is.
Yeah, I'm really hoping he gets back on that soon, because I'm working on some tools for administrating DU organizations that will make use of the data, this way I don't have to create my own.
Yeah.
program to scrape the data from the websites.
Mm. But
which these tools will be open to everyone as well.
Yeah. It will be interesting because the whole thing. This is where I want to bring in the Terrain Union and CSYN discussion mainly. Looking at the community map from like how like this was last updated March 7th of this year. I found it interesting to see how many connections with the Terrain Union that CSYN had. If it would be updated today, what would change? And it would be very interesting to see what new things would be in, both dealing with the issue at hand and just in general, like what would change and what would be different. And it'd be interesting to see what would be different and everything like that. And like in terms of you know, just you're going to see, I think, like if the whole thing with Band of Outlaws and CSYN, the whole negotiations kind of go through, I'd be interested to see where that, like how much closer they will get and how many more connections CSYN will get with Band of Outlaws, and what will happen eventually with Terrain Union being now going their separate ways with from CSYN. How many of those connections with either CSYN orgs have, like with orgs associated with Terrain Union, are broken now, and you know, it's just very interesting. And I think the main thing I want to get to is that it's great. It's interesting to see how much the community, in terms of the deals and everything like that, how much it's changing. And I'll be very interested to see where it goes. You guys have anything?
Yeah, we can post URLs in the chat. It's probably a setting that you might need to fix.
Advanced settings, maybe? I'm looking. My bad.
Yeah, it'd help with linking all of these sites.
Yeah, I don't see where it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Oh, well, they're all down in the
description, maybe.
Yeah, you can find all the links down in the description. So
yeah,
just look down there.
I put
They're all
everything
there.
in the description, so
We can figure it out next time.
yeah, I'll try and figure it out. Sorry, I didn't even. I'm new. Don't hate me. I'm new.
The least experienced YouTuber, the least experienced person on YouTube is the one doing this stream. Makes sense, right?
Shut up. All right. So, but yeah, it's just kind of interesting, and I've always like found it interesting to see like how many, like just kind of the different things that you see on the community website. Like on the right side, you see Frog Swarm with only one connection outside of the actual outside of the organization. You see them. You see the Lonely Guys TVR just up in the top right where they belong, and
Yeah,
no
they don't
one
have very
sees
many
them. You
they don't have very many connections. Their connections are either to TU or a bunch of smaller groups that no one really cares about.
Yeah, and then you have
the one-man groups.
And then you just have us over on the side, which is just a collection of like red and green, just like for no reason. It's just completely.
I'm all
alone. It's unfortunate that it was never updated, because there's a lot of stuff that, like, especially with us, there's a lot of stuff that has changed recently. And you know, it'd be interesting to kind of see that, but like I said, it's probably tough to do this, so I at least respect him. Like, I at least respect the fact that he even did this. I mean, you know, the fact that he's even been able to make this in the short amount of time.
Yeah, he's definitely better with development than I am if you can make stuff like this.
CSYN Discord for all your linky needs. Yep. Alright. It's also interesting to see, like, all of our associates of GLSU. It's interesting to see what other connections they have, because really looking at that, it's amazing to see, like, how close we are to Solar Empire and like Empire. It's really interesting. Oh yeah, you guys should give a shout out to everyone in chat. Shout out to everyone in chat. You guys are awesome. I'm not going to read your names because I don't get paid enough for this. But you guys are awesome all the same. All right. But anyways, it's just kind of cool to see the whole thing with everything. Just like, you know, always thinking like GLSU itself is a member organization of Cinderfall Syndicate. It's interesting to see how far away we actually are from Cinderfall Syndicate, yet we are very close to other organizations, either within Cinderfall Syndicate or without, like, or who are not in Cinderfall Syndicate. It's very interesting, and it always has just interested me, and it's cool. And I, you know, I'm sure eventually, Lord Void will, I'm sure Lord Void will, we'll get back on it soon. I'm sure he's probably either busy in real life or just trying to figure it out, which, I mean, like I said, probably tough to do that.
Yeah, I think he said he was going to be taking a while off of this.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we'll see him back soon so we can get that updated.
Yeah. It'll be
Because
cool.
I think he made a comment about open source, and if that's the case, then that'll make everything a lot better, because then people can go in and suggest things, and he doesn't have to do as much of the work.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Anything you guys have to add on the whole politics stuff? I mean, I feel like I've basically been the only one talking.
I don't think I have anything else. Other than the fact I can't actually find us on this map at the moment.
It's
because we were found it before, but there we go.
Yeah.
Found Q.
You found Q. You didn't find you though. You need you.
And then I click on you. I then go to you.
Yeah, there you go.
When was you created?
I forget. You was created, I think, in like October of last year. Q was created on the first day that the community site was out.
Okay.
GLSU was created 2016-10-25.
Yeah.
So December 25th of last year.
Yep. So yeah, we've been around for a while. We've only kind of, you know, only established ourselves and kind of gotten our names out there recently. But I mean, we've been around. We've just kind of been, you know, just kind of laying back, just like in the corner where like no one will notice us. We're just kind of like, hi, we're here too. We're kind of cool.
One strange thing on this map is the fact that you're actually not directly by GLSU.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, that's because
you're near it, but you're not directly
like
there.
I have connections to two organizations that are like literally right next to CSYN, Universal Defense Force and Intergalactic Union of Industries, and it's a shame that those never really talk about how you will deal with trade. How will we deal with trade? Guys, how will we deal with trade? I don't know.
Trading goods.
Trade good.
I mean,
bad trade deals bad.
Will be
I will be Donald Trump. Bad trade deals. No bad trade deals. Only good trade deals. Yeah.
Don't forget to build a wall.
Build the wall. keep the TVR members out. Build the wall. VVV underscore glory underscore VVV 2020.
We'll build a wall to keep TVR out, and then we'll make them pay for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. I love bringing up old memes. Anyways.
But yeah, well, trade will kind of heavily depend, though, based on how it's implemented in game and how haulers work, because, you know, haulers are going to have to be a thing, and they're going to need to be able to move large amounts over large distances.
And also keep in mind that, like, trading will be done via people, like...
Yeah. No, so, and you also need to keep in mind, too, though, that you'll have pirates to contend with, so you'll want to set up trade routes. You'll want to guard your trade route.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what things will be, you know, implemented with everything like that. You know, I'll be very interested to see what happens, and there's a lot of speculation on how things will run, but I think there's a lot of stuff that still needs to be decided yet, and I'm really hoping that things will eventually we'll eventually figure it out.
Yeah, that son will have to wait.
Yeah. Let's see, but yeah. As you were saying, with the whole thing, why I'm not like directly next to GLSU, I have connections with two basically member organizations of CSYN. They are Universal Defense Force and IUI. IUI, I'm the co-founder, and Universal Defense Force, I'm. You can't find you on the map. Well, keep in mind the last time this was updated, Athlon was in March. So if you joined after that or weren't like really a member,
it's been a while since it's been updated properly, so it's quite outdated at the moment.
Yeah. But anyways, so Universal Defense Force, I'm basically the second in command, and IUI, I'm the primary guy. Like, I'm the co-founder. I'm the primary guy. Yes, I'm the primary guy. Yeah. Unfortunately, both of those I think kind of went away. UDF kind of just like they were very active when we were both very active at the same, like when GLSU was formed. That's when I started becoming a little bit more active in the forums and like on the community site and everything like that. We were very active at the same time, and they were the ones that actually convinced me to join CSYN. No, they will not be Atlas. They are just a military organization. But yeah. And then IUI was basically an idea that I had with a person from Sweden named Guerrero. I think his name is. I'm terrible with pronouncing shit, but Guerrero, he was the member of another industrial org, I think called Star Industries, and we had this idea basically to form basically a GLSU, but for industrial orgs only. So it was very interesting.
An industrial alliance.
What?
An industrial alliance.
Yeah, basically like that. And basically we
Kind of
would
cheer the economy slowly.
We would basically, like, if there was like a bad organization, like we would come to their assistance, we'd fight for them, and like other stuff like that. Basically, kind of like have a common like goal with stuff like that. And we were really like into it for a while. This was in like November, December of last year, and then after a while, Guerrero went completely dark, and I haven't talked to him since. So it's kind of just like, well, that went well. So
yeah,
that's it.
At least this is going better.
Yeah. To be honest, it's crazy to see how far GLSU has come.
Yeah, I think it's on the second page.
Yeah.
The organizations.
To be honest, I never really thought it'd get to where it would be right now. And to be honest, I cannot thank my associates and my and everyone for supporting me with how far it has come. Why did Tran Union leave CSYN? I'm not totally sure, Atlas. There's a lot of rumors going around. I suggest asking around. The official thing is that Tran Union and CSYN just kind of had a lot of disagreements with how things were run and everything like that, and that's the official thing. There's a couple rumors going around about other reasons, but that's the main one from what I've figured out. I've heard a bunch of the rumors, but I'm not going to spread rumors because that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to start shit with other orgs. That'd be a bad thing.
It'd be very bad.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Especially, well, we could probably beat quite a lot of the other orgs, but it's not good to do it.
Still, it's just there's really no need to do that at the moment. But yeah, just a little bit interesting to see where things have come in terms of like in terms of our organization and the other organizations, because also if this would be updated, I also would want to see like any new organizations like who like I know there's a lot of new organizations that have like become a lot more prevalent since that was last updated. Like I can go through the list here. Like we got Palestria, the Brony organization. We got we got Axios Empire, an associate of ours. You know, everything like that. We have let's see, Opium Federation, another organization of ours, and there's a bunch of other ones. The Brotherhood, again, another organization of ours. It's just it would be interesting to see other things that would be like that would happen with ours.
I'd kind of like to see
any
some
contractors who will make deals for GLSU, deals with other orgs and companies. Currently, we don't have any set like contractors who make deals, but we have made a few deals with some of the other organizations. I know after we released the collective, ODY came to us and we worked out some stuff with them. I'm sure we will probably make some deals with some other people and everything like that. So yeah, you know, so we're kind of getting places in the community. We're getting places slowly, but we're getting places. Anyways, so yeah. Anything else to add on the whole politics stuff? We've been basically talking about that for like 30 minutes now.
No, not much about politics.
Yeah.
I think we've covered everything that's really going on at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have.
Yeah. It's an interesting landscape right now for Dual Universe, and I think we will see a lot more things pop up. To be honest, I might make the bold prediction of saying that Terran Union will have their own alliance, and I think again, these are just rumors, but I think they already have created another alliance that will be kind of like CSYN. So I'll be interested to see where that will be, because I think it will be the two. I think it will basically be a power struggle. Depending on where things go right now, between 2 or 3 major alliances or conglomerate organizations. Those being CSYN, the organization the alliance that Terran Union will be coming up with, or maybe just Terran Union themselves. They might kind of change their previous like regular organization to kind of
adapt. An empire.
Yeah, like, well, not an empire. Terran Union isn't an empire, but like to have like more of an alliance kind of based thing. It will be interesting to kind of see how everything how everything will go, and what will happen and everything. And I think it'll be interesting, to be honest. I think we will see a lot of change very soon.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if in the first couple of months we start seeing something happen, sort of like what goes on with EVE Online and Nullsec. Basically, it's a matter of who has the largest numbers, and if they see something, they're going to go after it.
Yeah.
It may not happen in the very early stages, since we do have right now some pretty large alliances who are pretty friendly to each other. But at some point, I have a feeling this game may end up turning more into something more like EVE Online's Nullsec.
I could probably
because of the lack of a high sec, so to speak. The closest thing that Dual Universe will have to high sec would be the initial spawn area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's if they
And
do
that'll
have
be
an
it. And that'll only be
area.
like that's only the one planet, right? So usually the planet you can be shot, right?
Yeah.
Or even if it's the entire system, even still, once you leave that system, it's no man's land. Everyone for themselves, pretty much. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that goes on, because you'll have an organization. They'll see that this other organization has a planet that's rich in an element that they need. Well, then they might go out there and just forcibly take it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling it may turn out end up being something a bit more like what Eve Nullsec is like.
Yeah.
If you're the bigger guy and you see something that you want, you go out and take it.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be an element of that.
It could be very true.
So I'm curious to see where that'll bring us, and whether or not we'll have massive wars like in EVE Online.
To be honest, I wish it would be a bit more dynamic than what you described, but
I'm sure it will be, because they're introducing a politics system which is a lot more in depth than anything.
Well, EVE Online has a lot of political stuff going on.
From what we've been told, though, this should be an even more in-depth system.
Yeah, there may be more in-depth system what's currently implemented, but I mean, for the most part, the whole politics system will be, most of the politics thing, there doesn't need to be an embedded system to have it go pretty deep.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of, deals being made and who is, running what, and how they handle it.
The way that they've described it in the past is basically saying, we give you the openness and the freedom to create what you want, and basically you can go as complex or as simple as you want. Like, I think in their Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign video that they did, they said that they'll have a couple templates of a democracy or a dictatorship or the generic stuff like that, or people will be able to go through and create their own thing. So it'll be interesting to see what people do, because
I'd love to see that stuff start being implemented on the website. I also hate how the person who founds a organization website can't remove someone else once they're made a legate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
there really should be about 3 different levels at a bare minimum, because having either a member
they mentioned
or
that on a dev blog that they're going
completely
to be eventually doing that.
I think it'll be better if they make it so you can make your own rules.
Well, that would be nice, but at least, initially there should be a 3-role system rather than a 2-role, because, founder and the person who originally created it should have a lot more say or a lot more control than someone else because for instance, I have someone else who's legate in my group, and I don't really want them to be legate. I want them, but I also don't want them to be a normal member, because I want them to be able to accept invites and do other stuff.
Yeah.
So, there should really be at least 3 different levels, so that as a base.
Yeah. Also, Atlas, I'm sorry I missed your thing. Do you plan on opening your arms to new orgs? Yes, I do. Well, I am planning
That's
on
the point of this.
making my I'm planning on making GLSQ products available to GLSU associates and full members who want them. They will be readily available to people, and they'll also be available to other people who who aren't in GLSU, but they'll probably be more expensive or have to be paid.
We're accepting more people and more organizations into GLSU, not military stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, one thing to do with my organisation is we're there for transporting goods. And if you're just a normal organisation that's not part of GLSU, you have to pay a certain price for us to transport it. But if you're part of GLSU, it's a discount.
Yeah.
No, that's the whole point of it.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be very interesting, because there's still a lot of things that we need to work out as an organization, and to be honest, we can't really explain everything because we don't even know what we're doing sometimes. But we're slowly getting places, and we're slowly getting places. So yeah. All right. Let's see. What other things need to be discussed? I think we went on enough with the politics stuff. I think that's been enough talk about politics and our organization. I think there was a few things with on the forums that I think Pengo wanted to bring up. one of them was ore refining, and the other one was talking about archification, like other safe zones, like on other planets apart from the arc ship, the main arc ship. So I don't know which one he wants to bring up first. I think he's a little bit busy because his mom yelled for him. But I guess we can talk about ore refining. How realistic? How realistic will ore refining be? It's an interesting thing. I think that was discussed during the Facebook live stream that Novaquark did during
like 420p Facebook live stream.
What?
I said their 420p Facebook live stream.
Yeah, that.
They need some better
and also,
equipment.
I think on the how about dealing with war? Atlas, we're moving on from politics, right? We've discussed for half an hour on politics. We should move on from other stuff. Come on, man.
If we have time, we'll answer it at the end.
Yeah, if we have time, we'll answer it at the end. But until then, let's move on to let's talk about mining. Let's talk about the Minecraft aspect of this game. Right? Let's not stick with EVE Online
or the EVE Online industrialist aspect. Spreadsheets online.
On the I think on their latest Dev Diary video that they did, Dual Universe, like Novaquark said that like you'll there'll be a primitive refiner in the nanoformer itself, which I think is really the better one, like the better way to go. Like there were two really big options with ore refining at the beginning. Like people were saying like, oh, there'll be refineries on the arc ship and then there'll be one in the nanoformer. To be honest, I think they chose the better idea with going with the nanoformer, because when you think about it, if people go outside the arc ship and stay outside the arc ship, they don't want to have to worry about coming back to the arc ship to refine stuff. Yeah. They want to be able to do it themselves. Now, maybe they will have a little bit better of a refinery on the arc ship, but at least they'll have a
are they just going to limit it to the nanoformer and the arc ship, or are you going to be able to craft your own refineries, which are much better than either of the two?
I'm assuming that...
Yeah, I'd assume you'll create your own.
I think it should be at least as good as the arc ships.
Because if anything, it will probably be better, I'd imagine. There may be multiple, or they might have multiple tiers of it. Even.
Yeah.
Because you're going to want something that can refine constantly without you having to have space in your inventory and deal with that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it needs to be better than the one that you find on the arc ship. Otherwise, there's no point in creating your own. You might as well just go to the arc ship each time.
Well, no, there still would be a point in creating your own, because you're not going to be next to the arc ship forever.
I know, but in the beginning, there needs to be...
Well, yeah, in the very beginning, yeah, maybe. But there is still a point to creating your own if you have like a ship or something you can drop it on. Because then you don't have to go all the way back to the arc ship just to, refine some stuff, just to go all the way back out to the deposit.
Here, our good friend Kurok has clarified it for us in the chat. The basic functions will be in the nanoformer. It is a bootstrap for later and better refineries. So exactly.
Okay.
And he said he's not sure if there will be one on the arc ship.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't one on the arc ship.
Yeah,
the arc ship isn't meant to do stuff for you. It's basically supposed to be hey, this is your spawn point. This is how you got here. Yeah.
To be honest,
it's a transport ship. It's not an industrial ship.
Exactly. To be honest, I think it will be just like one nanoformer, like the nanoformer refinery, and then you can make better refineries later on. But I think we kind of went off a little bit on the actual topic because
this is about realism.
Yeah,
how realistic it will be. Because he talks about...
Ooh, I see something about uranium. Good uranium.
Yeah,
I love uranium.
He uses uranium as an example, asking if you will actually need to go out and find, say, the pitch blend ore, which is where you actually get uranium, and crush it up and dissolve it in water, leach it with sulfuric acid, filter it, separate the uranium by ion exchange, precipitated from the solution, filter, and turn it into uranium. He goes through the entire process, basically, just to get uranium-235. Let's also not forget, too, usually you need 235 and 238, if I remember correctly. which is a whole nother process.
Honestly, I don't think they should make it too realistic because that would take out quite a lot.
Yeah, if they went through that entire
It's also
thing, I
impossible
mean...
to do.
And also keep in mind, this is supposed to be 500 years in the future, like this would be 500-year technology,
Well, yeah.
like past ours, so
But
I'm
at the
guessing
same
it'll probably
time,
be a little bit easier than that.
It depends on
even
what
have
sort of
uranium as
technology we're
armor
talking
one
about,
anymore.
though. I mean, it kind of... Here, it's in the
Atlas,
link. It's in the link.
There's
It's
a link in the
refining
description.
link.
Or refining, that forum post, Atlas.
He also links to the worldnuclear.org website, which goes through the mining and refining process.
Nuclear fuel. Oh, that's great.
The world nuclear.
That'd be great.
I mean, at least he gives us sources.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Instead of just going like, "Hey, is this going to be a thing?" and then not even giving a source after going through a whole bunch of complicated crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would kind of like to see some stuff being like that, though, where it takes a bit more to refine it, rather than just drop it into your machine or whatever, and boom, there you go, you have stuff. I would kind of like to see some more in-depth refining for certain things.
Yeah, I would as well.
Mm-hmm.
So because you think about it, you don't want it to be so easy that it's like you get, getting the best alloys or the best materials is just a matter of telling it to make them.
Well, the system that I'd like to see is sort of you've mined the resource, then you do whatever to it, and then you get sort of an impure version, and then you have to
have like different purity
smelter
levels
or something to purify it further.
And then the purity, the impurity level will kind of determine
like
the properties of it, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be kind of hard to have a dynamic impurity type of system where, you might have one section of the whole that's made with that has like 5% impurities, the other section has 10% impurities, and the section that has 10 impurities has like, a decreased strength or whatever. It'd be harder to do something like that, so I'd imagine it would have to be like a set numbers, like set levels, so you will have like 5, 10, 15% impurities instead of having 5, 35, 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the way they would probably do that is if, say, you put it in the smelter 5 times, then it would be, say, 100% pure. But if you only put it in there twice, it may only be 80% pure.
So it could be like, and maybe have it take longer the more you purify it. And this way there's a trade-off. It takes longer.
Less and less.
Well, yeah, because you're removing some of the impurities. So the total, weight of it reduces because you're removing impurities every time you process it.
Yes.
But maybe in
so,
terms of like...
there'd be a draw-off. You would, one, take longer to make it, and it would also return less material for you to actually use. Mm-hmm. So, you have, but the bonus is that it's stronger, or it's whatever qualities it's supposed to have is much better. It's much more pronounced because there's not as much impurities to.
Yeah, that
like with the whole thing with uranium. Like I'm guessing, well, I'm almost assuming that you'd use that for like energy purposes. I'm not sure if you'd use that in a ship, but you'd use it for like powering stuff like
radioactive bullets.
But like powering like nuclear reactor powered ships. Like I'd assume some of the larger ships would do that because some of the larger ships in real life do that. That's basically limited though to aircraft carriers, and I think some submarines use them. Aircraft carriers and submarines do use them. Yes. Not all of them though. Some aircraft carriers and submarines don't though. The older ones, yes. The U.S. ones do. Yeah, U.S. Well, I wouldn't just say older ones though too, because some other countries don't have nuclear reactors capable of being put onto a. But I'm guessing our carriers have 2 nuclear reactors.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing like some of them will have like abilities to.
But yeah, well, I would imagine though that you won't see so much as nuclear reactors being used because this is supposed to be further on in the future. You would see different types of reactors, more advanced stuff like I think it's It's either I can never remember. Hold on, I gotta look this up now.
What, fission versus fusion?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fission.
I think it's
one thing I'd quite like is from the refining process, you actually have waste left off that you can use to make other things.
Yeah, I think it was fusion. It's the one that the sun does.
Mm-hmm. But still, just
it's what happened. I would. Hold on.
Murica.
I would imagine you would see stuff more like fusion, the fusion reactors, for instance, because those have
Fusion is what we use at the
theoretically.
moment,
Huh?
I think fusion is the one that we have at the moment, isn't it?
No, I'm pretty sure it's not. The one we have at the moment, while it does produce power, it doesn't produce as much power as what the other one could possibly do. The one that is currently still under heavy development, let's see, is the reaction which 2 or more? But
well, anyways,
yeah,
we're
okay.
getting off topic.
Fusion is it? No,
like,
we're not. This is perfectly on topic. We're talking about power systems.
I know, but
possible power systems.
But I mean, I was talking about more with like ore refining uraniums for like nuclear reactors.
Yes.
Because I'm guessing nuclear reactors will probably be more of a not primitive.
It might
but
be
like
an early game thing, but I would probably expect to see more of stellarators and tokamaks for larger vessels because of their theoretical possible power output compared to a nuclear reactor.
But the uranium to power that, like, in terms of refining stuff, like you could have it like maybe you will get less and less of the uranium the more you refine it, but it powers it more and more, and maybe it powers more for longer.
Or you could have, there could also be nuclear-based weapons as well, I'd imagine, thermonuclear weapons. So you might see...
Well, depending on their game, because, like they said, no game-breaking weapons, but...
Well, no, that doesn't mean it's going to be game-breaking. Keep in mind, we'll be in space, we'll have stuff like... I don't know if they have any plans on it, but possibly even shielding, things like that. I mean, when you get into space, you're talking about ships that are maybe 1 kilometer long, or just even just like 500 meters. You know, that's quite large.
Mm-hmm. But
and I'm not talking nuclear weapons like Tsar Bomba or even Hiroshima or Nagasaki. I'm talking smaller weapons. Not to mention, it also, if I remember correctly, it's theoretically possible that you could create nuclear weapons that are small enough that they would produce a very powerful blast, but be very small still, without all the nuclear radioactive crap being a problem as much. So when I say nuclear weapons, I don't.
That Tristan has not really gotten a chance to speak. I'm sorry, Tristan.
That's because that's because you're talking most of the time, though, too. Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight to it. It's all your fault.
I apologize. It's my fault. I apologize. So Tristan, this is your moment. What do you want to say?
Nothing.
Thanks, Tristan. This has been a moment with Tristan talking. Thank you. Anyways, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how ore refining works. I think there's a lot of speculation on how it will work, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of like, like we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I have the freaking page up on nuclear fusion, looking through this. Bremsstrahlung losses in quasi-neutral isotropic plasmas. Yeah, totally know what that's about.
Anyways, and then the last thing you wanted to bring up, Penga, was archification, like talking about like other safe zones other than the Ark ship. I think that was the whole topic of that. I saw that.
The topic was called archification.
Archification, yep. Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, the Ark ship archification. I mean, I can see where they get that from.
I think the Terran Union are planning to make something that's a whole planet. That's a city.
Well, but no. This is like NQ. This proposal is more like NQ. Actually supporting this and it being like an official, like kind of sort of Arc-like zone.
Yeah.
Basically, he's proposing basically as time passes, like NQ could introduce the ability to, like every now and then, introduce like an item to the game, which will allow whoever finds it to either sell it and become rich as hell, or use it to create an Arc zone of their own.
Yeah.
Which his idea for it was so that this way non-PvP oriented people would have a place where they could safely set up and not worry about people. They could have their own sort of PvE only type zone, even though there's not going to be entities, but computer controlled entities in that way. But basically, where they don't have to deal with other players in their own little area. Personally, I think that's a horrible idea. This entire game is focused around player interaction, and removing that aspect kind of breaks the entire game. Not only that, it's not fair that this group should be able to be completely invulnerable, be sitting in their little bubble of protection just because they found a token.
Yeah.
Well put.
And it's not. I don't think it'll kind of break the game because it removes the whole player interaction aspect that this game is so heavily based around.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting thing. I know originally they said that like you could find other safe zones and other stuff like that. I think and you can make your own safe zones too with like the protection bubbles, but they'll be like, hard to like.
Well, yeah, but this whole thing was that it was like there is no like way to bypass it. Like it's completely protected.
Yeah. I think they said there was something about that. Like it'll be kind of like that's kind of something to do with more of like the backstory. Like you'll find other like ARC ships and they'll activate protection bubbles. I'm not sure if that's been thrown out. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll be.
Well, he was talking more about like a token that you can find and set up your own ARC zone wherever you want, or sell it onto the market.
Yeah, I don't think that they'd do that. I think that'd be
having something that's like already sort of predetermined, or even if it's not predetermined, but like there's a set number of them and it's actually part of the storyline is one thing. But
I think that'd be.
I'm not a big fan of.
I think that'd be very risky, and I think that'd be very.
And even then, I'm not a big fan of the whole ARC zone thing and general idea. Because then you're just going to have a bunch of people sitting around the ARC ship for the rest of their time playing.
We're talking about like the 25 kilometers across, and like, that's for people that don't want to deal with the PvP stuff. I'm just thinking, why are you buying the game then? When
the whole game is
around the player interaction.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing I'm not a big fan about that whole idea is because I don't see the point in like it's oriented around player interaction.
Yeah.
And even in EVE Online, there's sections that are considered safe areas, which is high sec. But even in high sec, you're not invincible. You can still be destroyed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because if one person gets a territory tile in the ARC ship, that is such a high profile piece of land, and if they hold on to that, or they can make a huge amount of money if they sell that on the market.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to sell that immediately. You'd want to hold on to it. But I'd imagine there may not be a way to claim land in there because of that. It could cause problems.
Exactly.
We have a lot of complaints because you think about it. You claim territory in there, then you have all your stuff there, and you basically live out the entire time being completely invulnerable. And it's not.
I keep on hitting my mic. I'm sorry, people listening to
I don't like the idea of that, of having, I don't know. But then again, my organization is focused around military, so
it's
I want to blow stuff up.
Yeah, it'll kind of be away from us because our goal is not going to be to set up our city area on the main planet. It'll be kind of to like get off the main planet like as soon as possible. Like we want to stay off the main planet. It's because, to be honest, in my opinion, I think it's just going to be a clusterfuck after a while.
Yeah, especially the very first day. I'm probably gonna wait until the next day that I can get on at 6 a.m. my time.
I'm still gonna be on just to see I'll be interested to see if the server will be able to handle it. I mean, they say so much about the server technology. I'll be interested to see if they can handle it on release day, like how.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see.
Well, on release day, don't expect it to actually be out on release day.
Yeah.
Because it most likely will have problems and be down for the next day or two.
Could be. Could very well be. Anyways, let's see. So yeah, that's about it. on the whole thing. Anyone else to add anything on either ore refining or archification? Before we go back to politics, since people were asking about questions about politics.
Yeah, let's go back to politics.
All right, politics. Let's do this. All right. I'm trying to make myself as happy as possible because I get extremely bored talking about politics. But anyways,
I don't.
I mean, it depends on the political discussion. Okay. So, Atlas, you asked a little while ago, how about dealing with war? That's still a very touchy subject. We aren't totally exactly sure how we will deal with war, and I don't think a lot of people know how they'll deal with war.
Yeah, it'll kind of depend on the game and how it's set up in game on the game side, as well as how we handle the military as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What about declaring war? Why don't we go over that? Do we have anything on that?
Well, declaring war. See, everything's so complicated with us because we GLSU themselves is a member of this, are members of the Cinderfell Syndicate, but yet, but associates themselves are not. So it's going to be very interesting to see like how that will go, because if a member of the Cinderfell Syndicate attacks an associate and they aren't a member, then well, they're kind of on their own. I mean,
well,
really can't do that.
Yeah, but what about us declaring war on someone else, not someone declaring war on us?
I know, but I'm just talking about that. With that whole thing. If we declare war on someone, then it can be very touchy because, again, with the whole.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you're not going to attack someone that we're friends with, and ideally you wouldn't want to attack someone who's friends with our friends.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, obviously declaring war on, say, TVR, no one's going to be crap.
Yeah. But let's just say TVR, we're going to declare war on TVR, because we can definitely take down TVR. But,
so, how will we go about doing that? Are we going to have like a meeting with all of our organizations? Are we going to
you would
have a small board that'll make the decision?
Again,
I think you would have to get a representative from each of the organizations together and make sure everybody's on board with it. Otherwise, you're just going to be creating sort of an internal civil war.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see like how we're going to do that, because even I don't know how we're going to fucking do that. But to be honest, I feel like it will probably go through the collective assembly. A notion for war. It will probably be voted on via
Well, see, there's my thing with that, though, is the collective isn't GLSU, it's the collective, it's the city. Rather than orienting unless, of course, if you're going to have everything oriented around the collective, then, the position shouldn't be called collective positions. They should be actually GLSU positions, because that's ultimately what they're deciding.
To be honest,
is alliance level stuff, not city level stuff.
Well, to be completely honest, that's all that we basically are. We're basically just.
Well, then they shouldn't be called collective positions, because if they are making the big decisions for the entire alliance sort of thing as an assembly, then they don't really have necessarily anything specific to do with the collective specifically and the collective only. So they wouldn't be collective positions. They would be alliance positions.
I don't know what we're talking about either, Mefish. I don't know either. We're just talking about random things. But we're talking about random things with our organization because someone asked the question of dealing with our organization specifically. We're just kind of spreading out ideas for our own organization, even though we really shouldn't be. That's more of just something.
Well, I mean, someone asked about how you would handle war, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think basically the official answer is we aren't totally sure yet. We will probably work that out eventually, but that'd probably be something more talked about with like the
the big thing too will be how is it going to be implemented in game.
Yeah, again, war being like
and I'm really curious to see about that. Are we going to have a system similar to EVE Online where you actually have to declare war on them in game and through an actual system, and then have the war starts after like in 24 hours from declaration.
Yeah.
And then is there going to be an upkeep cost associated with it? I don't think there would be an upkeep cost associated with the even if they did have an in-game system like that. Because in EVE Online, at least, you're paying Concord. Doesn't make much sense to me that you would pay Concord to go to war with someone. In that, but I'd imagine it's going to be interesting to see how they implement that in game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But to be honest, the best answer that we can give is that we aren't totally sure yet. We aren't totally sure exactly how things will go, and we will work it out. But that's something more to work out within our actual organization, not really on a live stream, talking about things in the entirety of the dual universe community. And I mean, we already had Yamamushi saying that we shouldn't make this specifically for GLSU, or asking if this was going to be specifically for GLSU. We probably shouldn't be doing this.
I am not a fish.
Oh, sorry, Mephish, Mephish. Yeah, that's. I'm gonna go with that. I can't, your name is so hard to pronounce. I'm sorry.
Mesh.
Mephish.
It's a really hard name to pronounce.
Are you sure you weren't a fish?
That face is so blobby. That's great. It's like
He's a fish.
Blobfish.
Blobfish. Yes, he's me the blobfish. Oh dear, I love interacting
What
with
is this book?
chat. That's great. Anyways, but yeah, that's the whole thing. We'll have to see where things go in terms of politics. But yeah, I let's see. I think we covered everything on politics. We talked about trade, we talked about war, we talked about Cinderfall Syndicate, we talked about alliances, we talked about deals, we talked about everything to deal with politics. Who's the British guy? The British guys, because there's two
We have
Brits,
two people.
are Cringey and Rocky Buttclench. And that
Hello.
is their actual name.
Oh my gosh, Tristan, we can hear you digging.
Of course, this is why you should be here early
Tristan.
for this live stream and not just join like 2 minutes beforehand.
Tristan joins just to not say anything and just beep at us all day the entire time.
But yeah, Cringey and Rocky Buttclench are from Buttclenchean Ltd. And Clenchean Drive Yards. All their links are in the description. So you can follow them there. They're fun people. They're fun people to have around. They're a bunch of idiots, but we love them all the time.
Thank you.
Let's see. I think that's about it. I think the last thing we'll do to finish it off is talk about the new Twitter post that Dual Universe came out with today, in part of Screenshot Saturday, because that's the trends that people on Twitter are doing now. Screenshot Saturday. Stupid.
Well, then I guess I'm
I've
not
just
the
noticed
first one later now.
that, actually. Screenshot Saturday.
Yeah, it's trending on Twitter. Hashtag screenshots. Well, it was. Now it's just hashtag together against Extreme Legion. Extreme Legion. Extreme Legion. Yep, Extreme
Well
Legion.
done.
Extremism. FA Final Cup. Jim Burning. Jim Bunning. Sorry. Hashtag Sonic Lunch 2017 and East Coast in 5 words. I have a confession. My name was a typo. It was originally Me Fish, but do not call me that. Let me. Do you guys think I could just show the screenshots on the live stream? You think they'll care? Duel?
No.
Nevercork?
No idea.
Well, it's on Twitter. It's their live. We're doing it under the license of advertising their games, so don't see why they would care.
Very true. Okay. There's my wonderful screenshot. This is one of the screenshots. They did it at night. Very nice. Here's another one. Again, very nice. Very nice quality and everything like that. It's cool. The Ark ship. it makes you almost want to play the game like right now because it's just kind of like wow.
I would play it right now, no matter
Why
what.
can't we just have early access? I want to
Yeah.
play now.
Here, give us early access. We're new live streamers. We'll live stream your game. Give us
Oh,
give us early access. And we'll-
early access like that usually ain't gonna be live streamed. That's
I know,
usually
I'm
like
just
strict
kidding.
things saying you
I'm-
cannot live stream this at all. You cannot talk about this. You cannot do
Yeah,
anything about this. You are testing it, nothing else.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd be
But-
fine being investor, to be honest.
Now, if
Yeah.
it was open, if it was like an open early access where anyone can join, then you probably could.
That's something
but-
else to be interesting. Will we be able to live stream the alpha? Like, because I know some games particularly don't want us to like live stream the alpha and everything like that. So it'd be interesting to
But
see.
others
I think we would be able to.
I
Yeah,
hope
I
we will
don't-
be able to because that'd be amazing. We could just, I'll definitely be live streaming that depending on how well this goes. But I'll definitely.
I think if it is live stream, if you could live stream the alpha, that would give the game good karma. Being as
Good
a
call.
year ago, No Man's Sky, you couldn't show that until its official release,
Mhm.
and then on its official release, everyone hated it. And then this on the alpha, as soon as alpha comes out, you could live stream it. Shows that it's not like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it seems to be a thing where those money grab games, as well as the companies who aren't actually good with it, tend to.
Yeah, they tend to be more
No Man's
closed
Sky-
about what they release.
Yeah, they tend to be more controlled over their content if they think that their game isn't good enough. And usually the game isn't good enough if they're controlled over their content like that.
Mhm.
In all fairness, though, No Man's Sky should have been released as an early access game.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was released as a full game.
It was released as a full game, and it was great. It was the best game ever. It was better than Call of Duty. Oh my god!
Probably
Any-
was.
To be honest, it probably was. When was
Well,
okay? No Man's
depends
Sky
who's
came
Call of
out
Duty.
before. Yeah, No Man's Sky came out during like right at Infinite Warfare. So yeah, so it definitely was better than Call of Duty. But I mean, but yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's about it. I think we've discussed everything we want to talk about. We've been going for over an hour now, and we literally only talked about like 4 things. That's pretty crazy.
I think it kind of shows Yamo or whatever his name is. I literally don't keep up with it.
Hello guys, was that
It kind of
Jet?
shows him wrong about what he said about there not being enough stuff to talk about for an hour stream.
There really is. I mean, you just have to kind of, just
Dig.
you have to find the right stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, was that Dret?
Dret's
came with the
just
wrong
put,
Wow, Dret.
Dret,
thanks
you're
for coming
too
in late
late.
to the party.
Was that Dret though that came in as, what is that, Dominic?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, sure.
I don't think so. Yeah, Yamamushi. He made a forum post yesterday saying a couple concerns, general concerns, and I addressed them. You can find that on the forums. I'm not going to go into it, but that was him. Okay, but anyways, I hope Yamamushi does give me some feedback. Though I asked him for feedback, like to watch this, and I hope he did give me some I hope he will give me some feedback on the whole thing because.
Or even if he wasn't watching it live, he can watch it back.
Yeah, of course it's going to be turned into a video, but I really hope he does watch it because, to be honest, like I do want feedback because I think he's the biggest Dual Universe YouTuber, like in terms of that. Let me look. Hold on.
Hey, Blair, want to move Tristan again?
Last time I checked earlier, he had 207 subscribers.
Tristan, we've already seen.
Glory, look at General.
Yeah, I think he might want to be added back, so.
There you go, Tristan. Sorry about that. I think he is the biggest. It's either them. It's either Dual Universe Explorers or Empire. Let me look. It's either DUE or.
What
Why can I
about
not-
the XP gamers? I haven't seen much by Captain Shack on all of this, so
Yeah,
Won't
Dual
say
Universe
he's the
Explorers
biggest.
is sitting at 208 subscribers right now. They really, to be honest, I think that they are really kind of the, you know,
Main authority.
I got 4 subscribers.
to be
How many
honest,
do
I
I
think that
have?
they are the most well-known, YouTube channel in the Dual Universe community.
I have
Excuse me.
5 subscribers.
And I think that I would love suggestions and feedback from Youngishi, because he's been doing this now. Well, he was doing live streams weekly now for months, and he probably knows things better than me. But I mean, he'd probably say the exact same thing, like get like animations and stuff like that, make it a little bit more interesting. But I mean, we'll get that time. Also, knowing Yamamushi, he'd probably want me to use cringy memes like he does. We love you, Yama, but seriously, get better with your memeage. Come on, man. It was great. I brought it up between my friends a little while ago, like with the memes, and they were all like, "Oh my god, what is this guy doing?" And I'm just like, yeah. But anyways, but that's about it, I think. So, thank you all for watching. Like I said, we do welcome feedback and suggestions. Keep in mind that this is our first live stream that we are doing publicly. We did 2 test streams where I acted like a complete retard, but oh well. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like button. It helps us, because it kind of helps us get our stuff out there. And make sure you subscribe. And subscribe if you want me to come out with a better outro, because I don't know any outro. I need to come up with an outro. But to be honest, I feel like if I come up with any outro, people will just say, "Oh, you're copying so and so," and I'm like, "Damn it." But yeah, make sure you click the like button, subscribe, and next live stream will be sometime next weekend, probably Sunday, because I'm busy on Saturday. So Sunday will probably be Sunday at around the same time. Hopefully, will probably be the time when we will do the next live stream. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and yeah, peace.